Good morning. Welcome to our podcast with Laura and Dr. Dana.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we were sitting here talking, going, what are we going to talk about today? And Whitmore, he's actually my son who does the editing and all, and he goes, "Hey, why don't you talk about that poster with the lady you have?" And we're like, "What are you talking about?" Then
Right.
we
What
figured out,
lady? Yeah.
oh, Rosie Riveter, and he goes, "Yeah, you can talk about that." And I said, "Well," he said, because you're business women, and I said, "Well, we're not here to prove anything." I said, "She's there to prove something." And her comment was, "You can do it or I can do it." And then I
Right.
looked at Dana and I said, "I don't know, can I do it?"
Right. And I agree totally. Like, I don't know that we're here to prove something at all, but I don't know that I can make it either.
I know.
But we will because that's exactly what we do.
Well, that is,
Right.
yeah. Like we talked about in our last podcast, you just keep on trucking. You
Absolutely.
keep on going no matter what. And that phrase, "fake it till you make it." I don't know, are we really faking it? I don't think that we're faking anything.
No, I don't either. I think sometimes when we talk to each other, like, like when I'm in the car, I'm like, oh my God, here we go. Big breath,
Yeah.
or as I tell my granddaughter, take a little elephant breath. You've got this, I need somebody cheering me on, like,
Mhm.
okay, you can do this. And I think that's what's wonderful about having other women in business is that we all know, like, no, none of us are faking it. But in some sense, we are like, okay, put on my pretty face, get on my little outfit. Let's get out there and let's do what we know how to do, which we may or may not be able to do in our jammies and house shoes,
Right.
like sometimes I'm like, yeah, I could do this in my jammies and house
Sure.
shoes. But at the same time, I wouldn't feel, like I was accomplishing something.
No.
Um,
No, and I agree with you. Like
mhm.
yesterday, I was working on the computer all day at home, and I literally got up. I just thought, oh, screw it. Take your shower, get dressed, get everything ready. That way, as soon as I sit down, I know that I'm in the mood and the frame of mind that this is work time, and
Yep.
we're gonna get work done.
Right.
And
Otherwise, I just start watching TV or, I start
yeah,
scrolling on Facebook. Like, I'm in my jammies, who cares? And then I'm not getting anything done.
there's
Right.
truth. There's a mindset to that.
Right.
When you were a kid, did you ever wonder about like Ed McMahon would show up at a house on TV?
Wait, who said McMahon? Oh, no, I was trying to make myself look younger. Yes, I know who Ed McMahon
Yes,
is. Yes, go ahead.
unfortunately. Remember, everyone answered the door, and they were always like dressed, and their hair was
Absolutely.
done and everything. And I'm like, did they really know he was coming or not? I mean, I
Oh,
like
yeah.
really wondered about that because I'm like, my God, half the time I'd be like, oh, you all have to come back later.
Right. Right. You can't come in now. Just give me the money and leave. No video.
No
I'm not
video.
signing that waiver for you to take a picture of me. Just give me my money. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's too funny.
It is funny. And I think what's also interesting about that is that in that time, there is a lot of fake, and we're realizing that now that, man, all those people were faking, that was a lie. This is the whole everything. Sometimes you just feel like it's a hoax. There's
I know.
nothing that's true.
I know.
So wouldn't it be great to just have a group of women who are true, that
Yes.
says, I have a good product or I have a great service, this is what I provide, but I'm not always perfect. I don't always get it right. Not every one of my customers love me,
Hmm.
I wish they
I
did,
know. I know.
I do. Um, it's just hard.
I
It's
know.
hard.
Well, one thing I know about you is that you always strive for excellence in everything that you do. And I'm not saying perfectionism, you strive for excellence in everything that you do. And you're right. There are times that even with giving your best, sometimes we just fall short of someone's expectations.
Right.
And it just is what it is. And it's like we cannot be everything for every customer.
No,
It's not possible.
no.
And we'll go crazy if we try to do that, or we're going to lose sleep. We're going to lose our health. We're going to And let's just be honest, some people, their expectations are, a little misplaced. You know.
Absolutely. And sometimes you don't even know their expectations. Like we had a guest who was like, well, I expected this, this, and this. And I'm like, well, you didn't even tell me that. And it's not on the menu. And so how could I meet those expectations if I didn't even know that's what you wanted? Or, some have been like, well, I thought this and this. Well, if that's what you thought, we should have communicated about it to make sure that I did what I thought you wanted. And so then I think that myself, when I go places and they don't meet my expectations, am I thinking something about them that they don't really, that's not their goal, right? They don't even know about it.
That is really, really astute.
Hmm.
Like, really. Like, what a great self-reflection, like, okay, am I communicating? So I think that's wonderful. I mean, the whole idea is because if everybody did that, if we were all self-aware enough to go, did I communicate everything? Or I left this Google review and it was something completely out of their control. Well, how unfair was that?
Right. Right.
Um, yeah, but being self-reflective and thinking about ourselves as consumers, that's
That's
really good.
right. Right.
Yeah.
And if people aren't meeting my expectations, what are my expectations, first of all? And have I made that clear? These are my expectations. And am I going to the right service for that? I mean,
Absolutely.
honestly.
Oh no,
Yeah. Yeah.
I get that a lot. I get people who come in and they want a certain graphic or something and it's like that's not what I do. And I'll try to explain it like this is the person that you need to go see for this. And sometimes they're not happy with that and
Right.
they don't like the answer no, but it's like I already know what your expectation is and I already know
I don't meet that
I don't
expectation.
meet that. So let's get someone who can meet that for you.
Right.
And they usually
Which I think is better. Like, just be honest, right?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
sometimes the consumer doesn't want that either.
No.
So would you rather me do what I do and you're going to be disappointed,
Right?
or could I refer you to somebody that you would like?
Yeah.
We even have a person like, I want you to make sandwiches and chips for us, and I'm like, that's not what we do. We don't cater. We're a private chef, and they said, yes, we want to hire a private chef to make us sandwiches. Okay, well, let me show you what we do and how that's going to be. But honestly, I think you might want something else or someone else. Um, but it's hard, even in your own mind, when you get it set. This is what I want.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
I think about that all the time. Like, I would really love to have a great sandwich. I had this great poor boy sandwich in New Orleans, which is a whole nother story. But like it was the best sandwich I've had. So then I get this idea, like, I'm in the mood for that sandwich. Well, there's some roast beef sandwiches here in town. I think I'll just swing by Arby's. And they got 4 for $10, which is cheap, right? And then I start eating that sandwich. I'm like, this does not taste like New Orleans, you know? Like, and then I'm disappointed. Like,
Sure.
I already know what I want. But instead of me saying, like, okay, I cannot get what I want, I'm not driving down there, and I'm not ever going back to New Orleans, just to say, am I going to settle for an Arby's sandwich when what I really want is a New Orleans sandwich? If you do, Dana, you're going to be disappointed,
Yeah.
right? And so sometimes I have to have those conversations with myself
Right.
too. Like, okay,
And I'm glad you didn't go on Google and say, "Sure wasn't like the sandwich I had in New Orleans." 1 star.
1 star. This
Like,
sucks.
what? How unfair to Arby's.
This is true because I really do like Arby's and they have some good sandwiches.
Yes, they do.
But if I'm comparing that to a sandwich I'm getting in town in New Orleans, they're not going to meet that expectation at all.
No.
Not at all.
So what did you do this last week?
I went to Silver Dollar City. I took Kevin to Silver Dollar City.
Nice.
Yes,
That's always
Jeff and I
fun.
went. Oh, yeah, it's so much fun. And I think sometimes we forget about the celebrations that are happening right in our own backyard,
Right.
because we're not tourists and we don't take days off to just go do that.
Right.
So sometimes having a little one reminds you, like, yeah, let's go do something fun.
Wait, isn't that the truth?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and I saw a thing on Facebook. I was scrolling this morning. And
Yes.
I'm like, I'm going to drink my coffee before I get in the shower. And I was scrolling, and there was a thing on there. It was a picture of a mom and a toddler, and it said something to the effect of, for you, this is every day. For them, this is their childhood memories.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, that is so true. However, let's put this into, I don't have a toddler or anything, but I thought about it in my thing, and I'm like, you know what? To me, this is just another day. But 20 years from now, this isn't just another day.
No.
And what am I going to do today to really make this day count? And I mean, like, even though I extrapolated that from this thing, it's so true.
It is true.
And you're right. There are times that we need to enjoy our life, celebrations of just everyday life.
Yeah.
How awesome is that?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Like, even thinking about coming here and doing a podcast with you, no offense, I'm like, I just want to sleep in. I'm so tired. Like, I don't want to get up. Yes, I want to go see Laura. Maybe we could FaceTime this podcast. No, then I'd still have to get up and shower and, make myself look presentable.
Yeah.
But we do that. And I don't
Yeah.
know if, like, as we get older, we just come complacent, or I don't know.
I don't know. And it's funny because Whitmore this morning was talking about, we were driving and he said something about, he goes, well, Mom, when I turn in my 30s, you'll be near death. And
Oh
I'm like,
God.
oh
What?
my God.
What?
I'm like, I don't think so. I
No.
don't plan on being that way. He goes, yeah, but you're just getting older and you're not going to enjoy life as much. And I'm like, wow,
Yeah. Yeah.
is that the way, the younger generation really thinks that we're just living and breathing and contributing nothing to society and we don't enjoy ourselves? He goes, most people just sit around when they're old. And I'm like, I don't want to be like
No.
that.
No, me either.
No,
Me either.
no.
Though I appreciate a good evening watching a good show
Yes.
on Hulu or Netflix, or
That's
you
right.
know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the truth is also as we get older, we don't have to go, 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 go.
No, that is
We
true.
actually come to enjoy just the simpler things in life. Spending time with your spouse or just spending time reading a book.
Right. Right.
Like when you were raising your child, did you have time just to sit down and read a book?
No, all of my reading was to get my bachelor's degree because I was in that still proving something stage.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I had a baby early, but I'm still going to get my college
Yeah.
degree. I'll show you all, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would read Zach my textbooks. No wonder he doesn't like to read because, those first, like, what is she talking about? I have no idea. Like, where's Winnie the Pooh and where's like fun things? No, my mom's reading me, Psychology Today or whatever.
Right.
I don't know. Like, just crazy stuff.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. But yeah, it's true. The simpler things. And I don't know. And then just coming back to in our business lives,
Mhm.
maybe we need to enjoy
Our successes,
yeah,
even little successes,
little
daily
ones.
successes.
Yeah.
When I take Emma to Silver Dollar City, she gets so excited about something, right? She will squeal at the top of her lungs, like, ah, And of course, you're like, oh my God, like my ears are rattling. And Jeff is like, Emma,
Right.
like, 'cause his leg gone off the chain. And she's like, I'm so excited. And then I think, when was the last time I got that excited about anything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe chocolate ice cream. Sometimes I can find myself really excited about chocolate.
Yeah.
But man, squeal at the top of your lungs, no control over your body, excited?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No.
No. No. So I have to say to Jeff, like, stop. Don't yell. Like, I want her to feel, like, let her feel these moments,
Yes.
because you're right. That is what creates memory. That's what she's going to remember later. And what she'll also remember later is that I used to get so excited, but oh God, Grandpa would yell, he would, and he'll kill me. Wait, you better edit that. I didn't say Grandpa. He's a papa, right?
He's a
Shoot. Oh my gosh.
It's okay to be a grandpa. I'm a grandma.
Yes, I know, but we have these words. And Emma actually has a grandma and a grandpa in her life. That's Sarah's parents,
Mhm.
And so we're me, mom, papa. So we always know like who she's talking about,
Right.
which is helpful. Yeah. But but I think about her excitement and enthusiasm. And, we rode that little roller coaster 10 times.
Oh.
I have a bruise on the back of my leg that will show you. Right. I was squealing as well, like, oh my God. I'm in
Was it the
pain.
one that just whips you around every
Yes.
time? Yeah.
Yeah, this is the little kid one. Right?
Yes.
And Emma loves to ride in the very back of it because it jerks you around
Oh
so
my
much more
gosh.
than in the front, which I try to convince her, like, let's ride in the front. We can see the tracks and everybody can see us as we're going. She's like, no, I love the back.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh.
"Ah." Yeah.
Can you imagine if we had that much excitement going to work every day?
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
I
we
wonder
might.
what we would accomplish.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe
Would
we
we
should try.
accomplish any more? I don't know. Maybe we'd be
Oh.
so excited that we'd miss things. I don't know.
I think that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because you have to be, especially in your business and in my business, very detail oriented because there is a customer expectation at the end of that you have to meet.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. So,
And if you don't like calm yourself down, like, oh my gosh, we're gonna serve food to these people who are coming to town.
right.
Like, okay, calm down a minute. What do they need? They need this, they need that,
Yeah.
because they're just like anybody else, and they have expectations of what you're gonna serve or what you're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to meet those expectations.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm trying to think of Rosie Riveter again. I'm like, how do I extrapolate that into my life? Like, she did the hard things. I mean, she did have a message she had to prove.
Right.
And then you think about, and it sounds terrible, but then the men came back from war, and it's like, oh no, you can go back to
right?
cleaning house. Wait, excuse me? No, I
Yeah,
liked that.
yeah, of
That was fun. Not every woman obviously feels that way,
course.
and in any stretch of the imagination. But I don't know. I feel like we can do it.
Absolutely.
I know we question ourselves all the time. Like, can I really do it? Yes, you can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it.
If you don't let yourself get ahead of you, right?
Yes.
I find myself doing that all the time. I can't do this. I can't breathe. I'm not going to be able to do this. I just can't do it. So, oh, hey, there's this great show on Netflix. I think I'm just going to go, watch that. 10 hours later, right? Like,
Right.
oh, I still have to do what I should have done 10 hours ago. And now
Hmm.
I'm not going to get back that time.
So
You
when
know?
you have something really hard, like okay, for instance, when you had to plan out the Thanksgiving menu that you guys are going to advertise and make all the food, I mean, this is a huge task
It
coming
is.
up with all of that. How did you organize yourself to, what did you do? What was your process to think about everything that had to be done? Did you come up with some kind of a system for yourself?
Sometimes I do come up with systems. With this one, I think about what do people want, and of course, Jeff's the rogue chef, so it can't be traditional, but it has to be traditional enough that people can hold on to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like people want turkey,
Yeah.
even though we're like, well, that's traditional, so we're not traditional, but they want turkey. So how can you make that turkey a little different than everybody makes it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's still turkey. Um, so you have to think about each piece of the meal. How is it going to be the same yet a little different? And then what are you going to offer that's definitely different? And then what are you going to offer that is tradition? Because people do like traditions. They
Mm-hmm.
do want to hold on to that, but they do like a little twist on tradition as well. And for me, one thing that I miss a lot from the education field is that we collaborate together. So if we're creating a lesson, if we're making a unit, we're talking to several different teachers, we're all looking at the same things together and we're talking about the best plan for students, the best plan for us, how to present it, how to work on it. Um, but here it's just me, right? It's just me. And so I put that and then I have to say, okay, Jeff, here's what I'm coming up with a menu. And he'll say, what? We're not making turkey, or something. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Okay. So then I'm like back to like, okay, what are we gonna do? And so then I'll ask him, like, I really need input. Like, let's work together on this. So then
Mm-hmm.
he'll, give this and that. But he's a kitchen and he cooks and he's the chef. He's not put it on paper and sell
Right.
it and get somebody to look at it, right? He that's just not what he does. But I can't do what he does in the
Sure.
kitchen. He can't do what I do on the computer. So we work really, really well together. So I actually have to find people who will give me good feedback. And when I say good feedback, like I need you to critique what I just did and tell me I'm wrong, you know. And my mother-in-law is really good at that. Thank you, Debbie. Which mother-in-laws are good,
Yeah.
because they're like, you're not going to do this, or rather than just be my friend and like, hey, this looks great, I love it. She'd say, why are you offering two starches? Why are you offering two
Oh.
vegetables? And I'm like, oh, well, because I want people to have what they need at the table. She's like, well, then they can pay for it. Like, right? Like one starch is all anybody needs. One vegetable is all anybody needs. Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But I can offer them an option. She's like, yeah, you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody needs 3 or 4 starches around the table. That might be what they want, and they can order that, but that's on them. You're going to provide for them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the best feedback that she
That
could
is
give me.
wonderful.
Where some people I send it to them like, well, that looks great. I love it. It looks wonderful. And then I think, are you telling me that because you're scared I'm about to lose my mind because I've been working on this for 10 hours, right? And I'm like, what do you mean it's not right? I don't want to hear this. Um, or does it really look okay and I'm overthinking it? So these are my processes. Um, and then sometimes it just comes down to here's when I learned when I made a mistake. I publish it and somebody says, what is that? I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe I read this thing 500 times and didn't see that.
Oh well.
Oh, well.
Oh well.
But for me, striving for excellence, actually, when you said that, I said, I strive for perfection, so I might hit excellence somewhere in there because I am a
Do you
perfectionist.
strive for perfection?
I do. I
Really?
do.
Because I always had a take that you strived for excellence.
Well, thank you. Good.
Oh.
That means I'm not hitting perfection. Yes, excellence is what I want. But sometimes I do get ahead of myself, and it has to be perfect every single time.
Yeah.
So
That's a lot on your mentally.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's a lot.
Yeah. Which is why I'm thankful that Wit does all of the editing.
Editing.
Right? Because even when I edit videos for the Rogue Chef, I'm like, oh, the music started like 1/10 of a second too early and it sounds off. Just like, nobody's going to hear that. I'm like, I hear it. He's like, well, then don't watch it. Just put it, just publish it. I'm like, okay, right. And now I worry about even saying that. Somebody's going to go back and like, well, let me hear. Oh, she's right. It was off 1/10 of a second.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
And this is the brain. Like
Hmm.
this is how you overthink things.
I love it that you have your mother-in-law to go through and be your sounding board. I think
Yes.
every woman needs a sounding board.
Yes.
Like, we don't want to hear the yay, yay, yay,
Mhm.
cheerleader. We don't need a cheerleader.
Right.
We need the sounding board. We need someone
Absolutely.
who's going to hold us accountable, who's going to show us something different, a different view than what we have, especially because sometimes we're like right here
Oh,
and someone else is going to be, they're going to see the bigger picture. And I think we get so focused on what we're working on, we do kind of miss the bigger picture. And I think we all need a mother-in-law.
Right. We do. We
Like,
do.
we need somebody to bring us in and help us because it makes us better.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And I think she made that menu tremendously better, in that we were offering what people could really use.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
But then also offering them maybe what they want, like here's what
Sure.
you need for your meal. But if you want these additional extras, I'll be happy to provide those for you.
That is really, really good advice. I'm sitting here soaking that in, going, that can be in so many different fields. Like, yeah, that's really, here's what you get for this. But if you want the extras, we can do the extras.
Right.
But instead of us, I don't know. I know for me, I like to always go that extra mile for somebody. But the reality is that all we have is time and health.
Yeah.
And it's like we run out of time and we're trying to just go one step beyond for somebody just to have that little, you're like, oh, look what I did for you type of thing. But we don't always have time to do that.
No, we don't.
And
And sometimes we do all of that, and that person's like, well, I only needed this. And then I
exactly.
think, my God, I just wasted all of this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's such good advice. Well, you can offer it, but do they want it?
Right.
And then they can pay for it.
Right.
Yeah. It's so simple. And yet,
Right. It does. It does seem very, very simple. But it takes somebody on the outside who's looking at it, which is why I always say, like, I want a private chef to come in and give us advice on what we do. Like, show me, am I serving things correctly? Are we presenting it correctly? Can you read this menu that I'm sending? I think you can. Jeff thinks you can. But we're the ones working it every single day.
Right.
So if somebody from the outside looked at it, and maybe that's what we do as women,
Yeah.
and we have to be open to that, like, hey, Laura, check out this. And I want to get really good feedback. You would give it to me. You're also my cheerleader sometimes. So I love that, like, yeah. But put down your pom-poms for a minute. Right. And you're like, I have no idea what this means. Right. And just that brutally honest that I need, like, oh, well, I know what it means. Jeff knows what it means. Well, you just must be stupid if you don't know what it means. Oh, but all of my customers don't
We're all
know, so
stupid.
we have to think about that,
Yes.
right? Yeah. And it's not about being stupid. It's just that you don't work in the kitchen all the
No.
time, which is things that I've learned since I've been in the kitchen, all
Yeah.
these terminologies they have. My husband always says behind. I'm like, you're looking at my behind. My behind's looking good. I don't know what's going on, but all right, behind. And then I'm like, are we supposed to say behind,
Right.
And then finally I'm like, why do you keep saying behind, And he's like, because I'm behind you. I want you to know so you don't step back into me. Like,
Oh.
but does my behind look okay? Like, I mean, no, we're not even looking at behind. No. Oh, well, that's kind of important when you're in a small spaces of a
Sure.
kitchen, like
Yeah.
behind, I'm behind you, rather
Yeah.
than a whole full sentence. I don't have time for that.
Mhm.
Don't have time for a conversation, but now I'm behind you. Don't step back.
Right.
Or if he'll say like hot behind, and I'm like, ooh, I got a hot behind. Oh no, you got something hot in your hand. Like there's nothing fun going on in the kitchen here, right?
Thanks, baby.
right. And I'm now Wit's editing and like, oh my God, I'm not doing this. They don't pay me enough to listen to this.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Wow.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I didn't know. It doesn't mean that I'm stupid.
No, of
I
course not.
learned that with a doctorate degree. But so now I say they didn't teach this in doctorate school, even at Mizzou.
Right.
Like they're not teaching us this kitchen language
Sure.
that I absolutely need in order to be successful.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What are you going to do this week? What's on your plate?
Everything. It's fall break, and the Grape Festival's coming up on
Yes.
Saturday. You're going to be there?
Yes, I am.
What are you going to be selling?
We're just going to display our guns, our Cerakote guns, and I'm just going to sell some hats and some tumblers. And here's what I learned. We talk about keeping it simple. So
Right.
we did the Highland Games last weekend over in Forsyth. And even backing up, the first time I did Grape Fest, I took like a whole display of like, here's what we can do in our shop.
Right.
And people were like, the stuff for sale? They didn't get it. And I'm
Right.
like, okay. So this time when I went to the Highland Games, I'm like, okay, we're going to pare that down. We're just going to have things that are for sale. And then I decided I'm paring it down even more. Like I'm just going to get down to 2 items, and this is all I'm going to have on my table. And I'll just put up, I made some different signs to hang up and things like that. Keep it simple. And then just talk to people. Just talk to people. Because I think when you're especially in a festival setting, you can get overwhelmed with how much are at every booth, and it's like, you've already lost them.
Right.
Just keep it simple. So I'm selling hats and cups. That's all I'm doing. And then John can take care of the gun stuff.
Right. Right. He can do all the guns.
He can do the gun stuff. So,
Well, I can see how that might be overwhelming because, like, am I buying this cup the way it is, or can I design it myself?
exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And I think, like, the guys that are in our booth in the gun stuff, they get excited when ladies are asking questions about laser stuff. And the next thing I know, I've got people saying, hey, he told me that I could get it for this much with free shipping. And I'm like, then I make no money.
Right.
And what's the purpose of me being in business then? No, we're not doing it that way.
Right. Right.
So I'm like, I've decided we're going to keep it really simple. This is the stuff. This is the stuff. And let's stop it right there.
Right.
Keep it simple.
You
So,
have to keep it simple.
You
And,
have to.
when you say, like, we have to make money, like, you don't, I mean, we have to think about that. Like, I want to serve people all the time. I want to serve you food. I want to make you happy. But in the end, if I'm not making money, I don't get to serve more people.
No, absolutely not.
And so same, like if you're not making money by helping people or making what they need, then you can't continue to make for other people.
Which brings us right back to so if I want to do this extra stuff,
Uh-huh.
but you're not making money, which means now you can't use that time to make other products and do different things.
Right.
You're actually losing money by doing the little extras.
Right.
You need to, just keep focused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by keeping it simple, here's my menu.
Yeah.
Oh, you do want something extra? Well, here's the extra stuff that I can't do, right?
Yeah.
And I'd be happy to do those for you.
Yeah.
But those are going to take extra time, which is going to cost a little extra money. But I promise you it's going to be worth it, if that's what you
Yeah.
want. But if I'm doing that for every single person, now I'm spending a lot of time and a lot of money and losing money.
Oh, yeah. So I think my takeaway this week is going to be keep it simple and stay focused. Just stay focused.
Yeah.
Keep it simple.
It sounds so simple, but you and I'll be at the Grape Fest on Saturday. Like, what are we doing? What are we selling? Oh my God, there's so many people.
There's going to be thousands of people there.
Yes.
Thousands of people. So, but I think this week I'm going to work on that. Keep it
Okay.
simple.
Okay.
Just keep it simple.
I like that idea.
I do too. So then we can talk next week about did we keep it
Did
simple?
we keep it simple? Yes. Actually, are
Oh,
we going to be able to talk next week after this whole weekend? It's going to be.
Yes, of
Yes,
course.
yes.
We can do it. We can do
We
it.
can do it. That's right. We can. We'll put our arms up and yes, we can do it.
We still have to come up with a name for this podcast.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we'll keep it simple though.
I think that's good. And let's think of a couple names, and then I'll send them to my mother-in-law. I'll send them to my mom. We'll
There
send them
you
to like
go.
lots of people who will give us some good feedback.
Yes, excellent
What
feedback.
is this? Like our favorite name. Somebody will always be like, "What?"
What does that mean?
Right.
I get it.
I don't
So,
get it.
well, we are literally out of
Ooh.
time. So I'm going to let you go.
Okay.
Have a
thank you.
great day, and
Well,
we'll
you
talk to you
too.
later.
All right, bye.
Bye.